Deshaun Watson, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, has been accused by literally dozens of women of sexual harassment and assault. And finally, there are consequences. Get a load of this. He is going to be doing a 6-game suspension, not 6 seasons, not 6 years, 6 games. He won't be paid, but he also will not be fined for violating the league's personal conduct policy following all of these accusations. Since last year, he has now faced 24 sexual misconduct lawsuits, a variety of sexual harassment and assault allegations by massage therapists. And you might be familiar with some parts of this, but I just want to describe one of the things that was involved in the investigation, something they found about Deshaun Watson. So he apparently liked to use a towel to drape himself in massage sessions instead of the larger sheet that you're supposed to use in these contexts. Sometimes even bringing his own small or medium towels. So they generally, the massage therapists, these are professionals doing an actual job. They're not objects for you to either harass or assault. That apparently needs to be pointed out. Will cover a person up because they have no interest in seeing their client's private parts. In this case, he was intentionally trying to non-consensually force them to see his private parts, or in fact, even touch them. And again, there's dozens of these therapists that have already come forward. And so, look, apparently the person who'd been looking into this had suggested a season suspension, but 6 games is what we're gonna get. Jessica, what do you make of it?
24 is a lot. 24. I think the craziest part about this story is, the comparison of the charges that other NFL players have gotten. There's all sorts of people writing blogs, right? Just dudes being dudes saying, hey, don't make fun of this guy, for only being suspended for 6 games when people like Ridley got suspended for 17, for example. And they say that it's because the NFL's policies very clearly outline punishments for the kinds of crimes of gambling. And he specifically gambled on NFL games, and sometimes where it was, against his own team or for his own team. Okay, then the policies are wrong. Like, rules and what is right and wrong are not the same. Rules and justice are never the same. And to criticize the NFL for not taking situations of sexual misconduct more seriously, I think is fair and exactly what we need to do here. But there's only like 25 to 30% of NFL fans that are women. And so they're probably not too threatened by the prospect of a boycott, or that their fans and supporters will be upset by this. And we can't rely on the NFL to be our criminal justice system and bring about a sense of justice. But this happened kind of in a professional setting, right? There's a reason that athletes get massages. This was misconduct that's very relevant to what he does for the NFL. And so they should probably consider that and take it more seriously. And if he's found guilty of misconduct in these cases or in these lawsuits, maybe then they'll take more action. Let's hope that's the case.
Yeah, I guess, look, they do have to weigh in to some extent, but it really better not be up to the NFL at the end of the day. They are not our government. I know some people are really into football, but they're not the ones who are supposed to be at the end of the day dispensing justice. And they appear to have no interest in doing so, from what we can see. Now, to put in context his penalty, 6 games means 6 fewer $57,500 game checks. That's $345,000 lost off of a $1.035 million base salary, but his contract guarantees him $230 million. This is, I'm gonna say, less than irrelevant in terms of the actual money. Maybe missing the games is more relevant in terms of his stats or his record or his legacy or God knows what. But I mean, out of the amount of money that he has, who the hell cares about $1 million? And some people are saying in the chat, why would you do this? You're famous, you're an athlete, you have all this money. Like, I can't speak for any particular person who breaks the law, but they're not doing it because they have to or they can't think of anything else. They're doing it because they want to. They're not forcing themselves on people because they're so desperate they have to. They're forcing themselves on people because they want to force themselves on people. It is a sexual thing, certainly, but it's a power dynamic that they want to exert control over other people who might well fear that their entire career could evaporate if they say something. If you're a massage therapist for the NFL, wouldn't you potentially be terrified that if you were to say anything, well, there goes all of your future work? You don't have a $230 million contract waiting for you. And so that's what makes this so awful. It's the power dynamic and obviously the sexual, the terrible things that were done. Really fast though, you pointed out 17 games for Calvin Ridley. I looked it up. I assumed 17 game suspension must have been something truly bad, mass murder. No, he was gambling, as you said. So he got way more games for gambling. And then you can see Tristan Kuhn has this. You've got weed leading to an indefinite suspension for Martavis Bryant. 25 games for Josh Gordon for weed. Darren Waller, substance abuse, 16 games. So in theory, it is way worse to abuse a bottle of whiskey than a woman. Like in the ranking from the NFL's point of view, women are important, thus the 6 games, but marijuana, way more important. We need to pay much more attention to that. It's a weird system that they've got over there, Jessica.
Yeah, John, I'm not really a fan of these complicated moral dilemmas. It's of what is worse, smoking some weed or assaulting women and putting them in uncomfortable situations. I don't know what's worse. Tough one. It's really a tough one. And I think like the reason people do this is because look at the consequence. It's a slap on the wrist. He saw his $230 million contract. And I think it's not like I'm living this great life. Why risk it with this? Because I'm sure he's amassed enough money that even if he was fired from the NFL, he would be fine. And knowing that the consequence will be essentially a slap on the wrist and he'll still be financially secure regardless, that's the calculation he's making when he does something like this. He'll still be living a very comfortable life. And at that point, you kind of feel like you're above accountability, it seems.
Yeah, because you are.
Because you are.
This results in a really sick situation where the unfortunate advice to these massage therapists has to be that when you are harassed, try to pause and get the guy to smoke a joint, because that will get him in trouble far more than the harassment that he is doing at that moment. So I would carry an edible around with you at all times. Just offer that to your assailant, and that way you might get some justice, maybe.
Modern problems require modern solutions, John.
Exactly. By the way, one more thing on this. So if we could jump ahead to graphic 9, the Browns put out this statement saying that we know Deshaun is remorseful, that this situation has caused much heartache to many, and he will continue the work needed to show who he is on and off the field. We will continue to support him. So he is remorseful. He's putting in the work and everything. Take a look at this clip of him talking about these allegations from just back in March.
I mean, I don't have any regrets. Like I said before, the things that are off the field right now that came up, caught me by surprise because I never did anything that these people are alleging.
So these people were lying. These 24 women, that's a crowd. That is a crowd of women. We're all lying. He didn't do any of that. And he went on to say, I'm just gonna continue trying to be a good man and a good son. That's what my mom taught me.
Yep.
Open the mom in this situation.
The statement ending with, we support him. That's a poor choice of words. Poor choice of words. Get someone who has studied communications a little bit to help you out with that. And just to have him deny 24, that's insanity.
Here's an idea, support your massage therapists who help your players actually be able to perform. Support them, maybe. I know that they don't bring in the Jersey bucks necessarily, but respect them, support them.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.